access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner.
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Tuesday's AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Brian Kelly meets reporters after LSU practice. We'll visit with Shea Dixon and Ross Jackson with the Saints Report, 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Plucker's Wing Bar.
Moving right along here, Tuesday edition of The Hunt Palmer Show. Appreciate you hanging out with us here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. In a couple minutes, we'll get to LSU's non-conference basketball slate, which is set. But I want to talk a little bit of football here. Bruce Feldman from The Athletic every single fall comes out with his 101 biggest freaks in college football. This is about weightlifting, speed, size, speed, power, that kind of the physical attributes that you can test in some of the best performers in college football, and he ranks them. And LSU had two guys on this list, and it starts at number 32. I gave you the commercial break to come up with your two that you thought might make this list. The first probably wasn't on your radar because I didn't realize that he ran real fast in a game last year, but Will Campbell is number 32. He starts the write-up with Will Campbell saying, look, he's only given up 3 sacks in 2 seasons, and all 3 of those were in his true freshman season, did not allow one last year. He's seen as the total package for an offensive tackle. Then Feldman writes, and this is the freaks part of it, in 2023, he clocked the fastest max velocity of any offensive lineman in college football, hitting 17.9 miles per hour in a game. This offseason, he squatted 600 pounds and clocked a 1.57 second 10-yard split with a 1-yard lead in. Then he starts to get into some really, really nitty-gritty with numbers with kilograms per meters per second and newtons and all kinds of stuff that I think Jack Marucci's cooking up over there for LSU football. But suffice to say, he's very big, he squats a lot, and he runs pretty fast for that size. And I talked about Will Campbell in the first segment of the show today. When we watch the pass rush drills, I don't have another word to explain his pass rushing ability, his pass blocking ability, other than seemingly effortless. I know it's not effortless. It's full of effort. It looks effortless. He just sets and throws his hands up, strikes, and holds whoever it is at bay right there in front of him. It's amazing to watch, and Bruce Feldman tagged him at number 32 freak in college football based on his ridiculous squat ability and his ability to get up and run a little bit as an offensive lineman. Speaking of run, that's where number 2 on this list from LSU comes in. It's number 38 on the list, and it's Chris Hilton, the wide receiver. Feldman writes, the Tigers have produced as many spectacular wideouts as any program during the past dozen years, and the 6-foot, 190-pound junior is as explosive as any of them. He was a 3-time Louisiana State high jump champion. He's been clocked at 23.7 miles per hour on the GPS. That's an all-time record at LSU. He clocked a 1.37 10-yard split with a 1-yard lead-in. That's another record for LSU. And this offseason, while he was in California, he ran a 4.29 40. I'm told by one of the coaches who was blown away by Hilton's explosiveness. LSU's hoping his big play potential expands this fall. They got to replace 2 first-round receivers. Hilton finished the season strong, making 3 catches for 56 yards and a touchdown in the ReliaQuest Bowl over Wisconsin. That's a mouthful, and it's a lot of numbers that I threw out at you at the top there. But I will tell you this, on top of his 23.7 miles per hour on the GPS and his all-time record 10-yard split and the 4.29 in California, on top of all of that, he's had a really nice week of camp. Really nice. He's catching the ball. He's running by DBs. He hasn't had drop issues at all. And maybe most importantly of all that, he's stayed healthy. And I'll tell you, as of a week and a half ago, before LSU football practice started, I was firmly in the camp of, okay, like LSU has a bunch of 4-stars and some transfers that have been super productive and guys at wide receiver who have the accolades that you would expect that LSU would turn to for playing time. But nobody has done what Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas did. Okay? So I'm not just ready to stand here and say, all right, they're going to be fine on offense. They'll be great. Top 5 offense in the country. I'm not in that camp. I'm just looking, and I'm understanding that there are a lot of tools there, and I wasn't ready to just anoint Kyron Lacy, number 1 wide receiver, ready to be a star. I wasn't ready to anoint Chris Hilton, number 2 wide receiver, ready to be a star. I want to watch. And I will tell you through a week, those 2 guys have been better than I anticipated. Kyron Lacy looks like a 1. A week ago, I would not have said that. I said, from ULL, kind of a 3, big drop against Florida State. This is not Malik Neighbors or Brian Thomas. And it's not. I don't think Kyron Lacy's going in the first 7 picks of the draft. I don't think he's going in the first 30 picks of the draft. He could. I don't think he is. I think he could have a monster season. I've really, really, really enjoyed Kyron Lacy's first week of camp. He's running routes well. He's catching the ball very, very well. He and Nussmeier are on the same page. Yesterday in the one-on-ones, he went through a couple of really good reps with Ashton Stamps, who had some pretty good coverage, but he made both plays. I think Lacy's looked great. I think Hilton has looked great. That speed is a weapon, and it is something you must contend with on every snap. If you want a chance, no safety help over the top, and have your cornerback try to backpedal, flip, and run with Chris Hilton, it might not go very well. Same thing applies for Malik Neighbors. Same thing applies for Brian Thomas. Same thing applied for Jamar Chase. Like, there are just some guys who athletically are on a bit of a different level. And Chris Hilton's like that. I would be surprised if Chris Hilton catches 1,000 yards worth of balls this year. That would surprise me if he went over 1,000 yards. It would also surprise me if he did not make some huge plays. I've really, really thought that the wide receivers have played well in this camp, and I think Chris Hilton is poised for a really nice, I can't even keep up with what year he is. I think he's a senior. There are redshirt years, there are injury years, there's COVID. Like, I think he's a senior, and I expect it to go really well for Chris Hilton this year. I think those 2 top receivers are looking very, very good. We'll see what C.J. Daniels can do, what Shelton Sampson can do, what Kyle Parker can do. There are other talented guys, but I like Kyron Lacy and Chris Hilton at this point very, very much. So those are the 2 freaks from LSU on Bruce Feldman's list. Briefly, let me get into LSU's non-conference basketball schedule. Not the greatest from a home game perspective. I do think it's pretty good from an NCAA tournament preparation perspective. Remember, that's going to be the goal for LSU. The goal is going to be to get into the NCAA tournament, and you've got to look good on paper to do that. The home schedule is not awesome in the non-conference. ULM is not going to move the needle. Alabama State's not going to move the needle. Charleston Southern's not going to move the needle. Northwestern State, same deal. Florida State is a nice game to have here in BR. Florida Gulf Coast, Stetson, New Orleans, Mississippi Valley State. So really the only home game of consequence is Florida State, and that's a pretty good game. They're not what they once were. They're not. But that's a big-time program, and I think that'll be a nice crowd for LSU on a Tuesday for a home game. That's the SEC-ACC Challenge. Now, there are some other names on this schedule. LSU goes to Kansas State. That's a really good program under Jerome Tang. Tough environment to play, and that's going to be a tough game for LSU. Pretty close to right out of the gate. That's on November the 14th. You've got the Greenbrier tip-off. You do play Pittsburgh there. You could play Wisconsin there as well. I like that over in West Virginia. And then you play a neutral site game against SMU, who's got a pretty good program over there in Dallas-Fort Worth. That's a neutral site game. It's not going to be on campus at Moody there at SMU. So I think there are some resume wins there. I certainly think that Kansas State on the road would be a resume win. I think that Pittsburgh and Wisconsin had the chance to be resume wins. Florida State would be an ACC win. You could put a feather in your cap at home. And you still got SMU as well, who's an ACC team at this point. So you're looking at Power 6 schools, if you count the Big East as well. You got Kansas State. You got West Virginia, you got Pittsburgh, you got Wisconsin potentially, you've got SMU, and you've got Florida State. That's 6 games against Power 6. That's pretty good for LSU. LSU's not going to schedule like Kentucky. They're not going to schedule like Kansas. That's not going to happen, and you can't just roll the ball out there and get a great non-conference team on your home floor. Kansas State was coming off of an Elite 8 when they came to your floor last year, so that's pretty good. But you're not generally going to get that every single year. So, no, is it super awesome for the season ticket holder? It's not. Is it good enough for LSU from a non-conference perspective for the NCAA tournament's resume process? I think it is. I would prefer a couple of these games not be on there. I don't really need Alabama State nor Mississippi Valley State. Those look to be albatrosses. But if there's only 2 of them, Northwestern State could be as well. It's not great, but it's okay. So we'll talk some more hoops way down the road. But this press release just came up, and I think that worth just a quick mention there as we kind of inch toward the end of the show here. Last thing I wanted to mention here before we take a break and play some Take It or Leave It. Really cool moment from Josh Smith yesterday. Alex Bregman hit a homer in the in Dallas to give the Astros the lead, and Josh Smith got an at bat, extra innings, final at bat, runner on second base. 2 outs, got a 3-1 heater up in zone, and unloaded on it, did a little bit of a pimp job, flipped the bat, and hit a walk-off 2-run homer for the Rangers there in Arlington, which is a really, really cool moment for him. I had a conversation with a buddy of mine in 2017, and I said, I think clearly you could look at this team and you would imagine that on this roster, you kind of have a feel for who the highest draft picks are going to be. You don't figure Kramer or Cole Freeman are like way up the list as high draft prospects. Probably not Papierski either, but Lang figures to be, and you figure Hess is as well, and those 2 guys figure to be kind of big-time prospects. But the one guy I'm looking at on this team, not Duplantis, I really think that, and not Dykman, I think that Josh Smith might be the first one to the big leagues. And he wasn't first, like Dykman got up there as well, but Josh Smith has made a long go of it. And he's a guy that should have been an all-star this year, was hitting over 300. He's hit second and third for the Rangers for a while now. He's played some left field, played some third base as well, but a big swing for him last night to hit the game-winning home run, and I'm just thrilled that Josh Smith is having such a great start to his career. It's hard to get up there and stick. Kramer got the call up there, didn't necessarily stick. Dykman got the call up, got traded to the Cubs, didn't stick. Lang's made it go as a reliever. But Josh Smith has kind of found a home there. He was traded from the Yankees to the Rangers, and he's had a great run of it there for the Texas Rangers, and that's cool for a Baton Rouge kid and LSU Tiger to have that kind of moment. So hat tip to Josh Smith. Bregman, too, for a big swing early in the game, but awesome moment there for Josh Smith. All right, we'll step aside, come back, and close it out with some Take It or Leave It on the Hunt Palmer Show.
You are now listening to the Hunt Palmer Show.
Visit LeBear's Baton Rouge Casino this summer for exciting live sports action. Biggest screens around. ESPN Bet is live in Louisiana. Got some great grub over there at LeBear's as well. Plus, Pin Play Rewards members can win up to $500 in Pin Cash every single week. All you got to do is visit pinplaysports.com/cover5 or get the Cover 5 app on your phone and register for your chance to play and win. Get that Pin Play app today. LeBear's Baton Rouge Casino, your live sports headquarters. Bring your crew for all the action. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-770-STOP.
Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air during Off the Bench with Esther and T-Bob, The Hunt Palmer Show, and after further review with Matt Moscone.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscone. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. So it's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be. Where we want to be is in John Deere. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so
on Wednesday's OTB. Hear from Coach Brian Kelly as LSU training camp rolls right along. Also continue to get ready for Saints preseason game number 1. And a little makeup OTB mailbag. Off the bench, 7 to 10 a.m., 104.5 ESPN.
.104.5 ESPN and Citizens Bank and Trust are looking for the ultimate tailgate. Snap a picture of your setup and upload it to the 1045ESPN.com for a chance to win a $500 Rouse's gift card. Our judges will select a winner on August 29th. It's the ultimate tailgate giveaway from Rouse's Markets, Citizens Bank and Trust, and 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge. And Rev will deliver our coverage live from Las Vegas starting Friday, August 30th with Off the Bench and After Further Review, and continuing Sunday, September 1st with Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Our coverage is also presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Watch us live on the 1045 ESPN YouTube channel. Kick off the 2024 LSU football season live from Las Vegas with Rev 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Plucker's Wing Bar.
Back talk tailgating there. Game watch parties coming up as well. Plucker's always a fantastic option for your catering orders and get you a ton of wings, get you some boneless wings as well. Big trays of French fries, tater tots. They do your catering. They can do it very, very well over at Plucker's. I'll be there tonight. Plucker Sports Trivia every single Tuesday. Get on by. You can eat some awesome wings. I might suggest you go with the garlic parm or the honey barbecue. Those would be my 2 suggestions. Either way, you're going to love it. You can drink some ice-cold draft beer, watch some baseball on TV, watch some Olympics on TV, win some gift cards, sports trivia every single Tuesday at 8:30. We weren't there last week on Tuesday because they were redoing the floors. I'm excited to see the new floors and also excited to get in there and watch some Cubs baseball and maybe drink a cold pop as well. Come on by, win some gift cards, Pluckers tonight. 8:30 for sports trivia. We'll have you out of there by 10 o'clock.
Wait, so you're actually excited to watch the Cubs? I thought you didn't care and the season was over.
No, I always am excited to watch the Cubs. Their season is over.
It's not.
I like watching the Cubs baseball team play. It brings me joy. I watched every pitch last night. They got 3 hits. But
they got 4.
Did they got 2 in the
They
night?
got 4, yeah.
2 in the, yeah. So either way, it was pathetic effort offensively, but I watched every pitch of it. And I'm going to do the same thing tonight, and they probably won't win. But that's okay. I'm excited to watch. Take it or leave it.
All right, first one here. Usain Bolt named his daughter Olympia Lightning Bolt. She will run the 100-meter in 4 seconds flat. Take it or leave it.
I mean, got to take it.
I'll take it.
Olympia Lightning Bolt. That is an electric name, literally. I love that for Usain Bolt. He was an electric athlete. And hopefully his daughter runs track really, really well for the Jamaican national team. Fantastic name there by Usain and his partner.
All right, next one here. International recording artist Pitbull is purchasing stadium naming rights to FIU's football stadium. He's expected to pay the school $1.2 million per year for the next 5 years to change the name from FIU Stadium to Pitbull Stadium. Apparently, he's also going to get to use the stadium a couple times a year. Take it or leave it.
I'm going to take it. This is a great deal for everybody involved. Pitbull can have basically free concerts there that he can collect all the revenue on. And FIU gets $1.2 million a year from Pitbull. Plus, this brings some, acclaim to FIU that they would have never had, some publicity that they would have never had. The only thing I think about when I think of FIU is the brawl they got in with Miami, where everybody was swinging helmets. Like, that's all I know about FIU football. Now, I'll associate them with naming their stadium after Pitbull, which may not be the most classic and traditional thing to do. But look, FIU doesn't have any traditions, so if you can get in the news stream any way possible, you go ahead and do it. So, yeah, I think this works out for everybody. Shout out Pitbull, $1.2 million a year to FIU.
Yeah, I wonder if this has become a trend maybe for some other artists.
Memphis has got a lot of rappers. Tulane can make this work.
Yeah.
I don't know who Yulman is, but if we can throw a rapper's name on it, let's do it.
Yeah, I don't know. Tulane they're a prestigious institution. I'm not sure that they would want to go that far, but
money's
maybe.
Money.
That's true. All right, last one here. Jim Harbaugh told pardon my take, among many things, that the 2015 loss to Michigan State on a botched punt with 10 seconds left in the game was one of the 5 worst things that's ever happened to him in his life. Take it or leave it.
That's a stretch, and that's an incredible quote. And I think he honestly believes that. Now, I would not push back against the fact that Jim Harbaugh has lived a great life. He played college football at Michigan. He played in the NFL. He's coached in a Super Bowl. He's been the coach at his alma mater. He's made a lot of money. He's won a national championship. Like, a lot of good for Jim Harbaugh. So I don't know what the 5 worst things in his life would be. But if that's one of them, he's lived a pretty charmed life.
He's doing pretty well.
It does. And it brings me back to one of my buddies who was at home watching the LSU Troy game when we were lost. And he said, this is the worst day of my life. And his grandmother quickly corrected him and said, well, you've had a pretty good life, haven't you? And so that brings me right back to that, because Jim Harbaugh said that's like one of the 5 worst things that's ever happened to me in my life. And Big Cat from Pardon My Take was like, well, you've had a pretty good run. You've had a pretty good go of it if that's the case. So
also, shout out to Jim Harbaugh for his foul ball catching at MLB games. He brings a glove every time. Apparently his seats are too good now.
Yeah, he said now he has too good of seats to catch foul balls, which is a real problem. He's got to get worse seats so he can catch foul balls with his glove.
He knew exactly how many foul balls he's caught in his whole time.
I wonder what Jim Harbaugh drinks at baseball games, because milk's not really available in most ballparks.
Yeah.
And,
interesting. I don't know.
I can only imagine how delicious a milk would be in the bleachers at Wrigley Field after it sits in the sun.
Yeah,
that one train curdles a little bit.
Yeah,
that sounds not great. So Harbaugh's gonna have to look into something else there. He's a weird dude. Haney goes all over him on first class, second class, no class today. No class to Jim Harbaugh for lying right to the media's face, saying he never lied, cheated, or stole. In fact, you did lie.
Apparently,
you didn't cheat.
Yeah, and apparently he didn't know about the allegation, about the notice.
Didn't know he had a staffer in Central Michigan gear on the other sideline stealing signals, because that never got back to the head coach that we had the signals. Sounds like a lie to me, old Jim Harbaugh. So that's it for our show today. If you missed any of it, catch it on demand, 1045ESPN.com's on demand tab, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, wherever you find your sound. And, of course, you can always find our stuff on YouTube in its entirety. My practice report from today at the top of the show, Sharif Ishak at 1:15. He is back from Irvine, where he has been covering the Saints for a week and a half. You can catch that at Hunt on Saints on YouTube. Glenn West with us at 1:30 from Go 24/7. You can find that at Hunt on LSU on YouTube. We talked about the White Sox being not very good in the end of the first hour. 21 in a row, that's brutal. Meet the freshmen, Kyrie Lee and Cohen Eccles today. Jacoby and Guillory had some sound in the second hour. Bruce Feldman's Freaks and LSU's non-conference schedule in basketball. All that can be found on demand, and we appreciate you all for checking that out each and every day. Tomorrow's show should be a good one. Got What If Wednesday. Also got Meet the Freshmen. I'll be out at practice in the morning. We'll have a full practice report on that. We'll have some Saints coverage. And J.D. Piquel from On3 Sports will start his weekly appearance on the show, talking some national college football with our guy J.D. Piquel from the Hard Count on 3. That's it for us today. Matt's going to drive you home on AFR. Have a great Tuesday evening. Hope to see you at Pluckers. If not, same time, same place tomorrow on the Hunt Palmer Show.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play.